Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now, where I am now, in a special place. I'll take it for the place where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. And if you'd like to see us live in WGPL 1350 Studio, WMVA 88.9 FM Studio, all you have to do is go to Everette Everett's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton's Facebook page. And guess what? You can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to WPCE1400AM.com, WGPL 1350AM.com, click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors. Let's welcome WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
WMVA 88.9 Peace, 95.3, WPCE 1400 AM.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and we promise we'll shout you out.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. We got 2 channels over there on YouTube. That's FYI Radio Show host Yolanda Hinton. And then you can go to Cristo Records 1, CRISTO Records 1. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and we promise we'll shout you out.
Promise?
Promise. Mr. E, it's Fun Friday. It's the weekend. Thank the Lord.
That's right.
It's been a beautiful week. Today, it is quite humid here in the Hampton Roads area. Mr. E, you all have some things going on this evening, I understand, this afternoon. Can you tell us a little bit about?
And what is it?
You tell me. I just asked you the question. Here at CBC. But that's all right. Mr. E Mr. E got lost memory. That's all right, Mr. E. We will get that information for you all, but y'all just tune in. I believe you all have an after-school program, and is it starting at 4 o'clock possibly? I think so, but we will get that information for you. Other than that, this is FYI Friday segment. What's in your closet? Issues concerning women, but that's what we're going to talk about on FYI today. School and bus safety. How do we keep the kids safe? You know, school, when you think about school, you got to think about a lot of things. You got to think about, safety. You got to think about the rules, regulations. We got some things here. We even have some things here from DMV as far as school bus safety, but we also have some school tips. So, Ms. E, let's go ahead and go forth with the school safety tips.
Well, the school safety tips are like this. Safety tip in campus, various tips for students, parents, and school staff to create a secure learning environment. These include understanding and following school safety protocol, practicing and personal safety, and being aware of potential health emergencies. Special tips range from knowing emergency procedures to practicing safe and travel routes and promoting positive and social interaction. For students, following school rules, adhere to the school safety policies, including procedures for visitors and beware of emergency plan.
All right, we got the buddy system. Please use these tips. Walk to and from school with friends or in groups, especially in well lit areas. Why? We got people lurking and people watching you as you go to school. If you are alone, you have some people that may even just follow, and we have people that are doing some things that they shouldn't be doing when it comes to our children. Report suspicious activity, like I just said. Immediately report any suspicious behavior or threats to a teacher, counselor, or other trusted adults.
Personal safety, beware of your surroundings, avoid shortcuts, and stay in well-traveled area.
Yes.
Don't forget, stay in well-traveled areas.
Yes, conflict resolution. Learn how to manage anger and resolve conflict peacefully. Why? There's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of things that go on the way to school. And we want to make sure kids get there. They get there safe without being afraid of a bully or someone coming up to them and threatening or making their lives miserable before they get there.
Cyber security. Understand the safe online practice and avoid sharing personal information with strangers.
I wanted to say, going back to conflict resolution, make sure if you are being bullied or targeted or someone is not treating you right, go to the teacher, counselor, or parents. Please don't suffer in silence. If you are being threatened, make sure you let somebody know so they can help you to solve this problem. But also, emergency contact information. Ensure your emergency contact card at school is up to date.
That's for the students and more. And then when you get home with your parents, discuss safety. Have an open conversation with your children to have a safety concern and potential risk.
All right, safe routes. Again, plan and practice safe routes to and from school, avoiding shortcuts. Parents, you got to sit down with these kids and teach them, even when it comes to going to school, going to the bus, how to act on the bus, how to act in school, how to conduct yourself, watch your mouth, and all that kind of stuff. Emergency preparedness. Familiarize yourselves with the school's emergency procedure and contact information.
Transportation. Ensure safe transportation methods, including using the school bus or having older children drive responsibly.
Positive role modeling. Set a good example by practicing safe driving habits and demonstrating respectful behavior. Yes, get involved. Practice in school safety initiatives and communicate with school administrators about concerns.
There's a lot of good school tips that's going around, and you need to really pay close attention to every year that the children go to school. And general school safety measures, visitor management, ensure proper visitor sign-in procedures, and visitor ID badges are in place.
Absolutely. Systems, security systems, checking the functionality of security systems, including door locks and alarms. We know what happens when schools lack in this process here. We know that someone or something can happen and things are not in place. Please, schools, do your job.
First aid and medical support. Ensure readily available first aid supplies and train personnel for medical emergencies.
Also, emergency drills. You got to conduct regular drills for fire, earthquake, active shooter, and other potential emergencies.
Hygiene practice. Make sure you practice washing your hands and regular hygiene practice. Promote good hygiene habits, including regular hand washing and properly disposing of waste.
Positive school climate. Foster a positive and inclusive environment that addresses bullying and promotes respect.
Don't forget that while you're on the school bus, you got to practice great school bus safety. And then there's another article that the Virginia pilot of Norfolk Public Schools and Virginia Beach schools are having this year, and tell you what to do when you see a school bus, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that. The school bus safety involves understanding both the rules for driving and for safety practice for students, as well as the design features of school bus that contribute to their safety. The most dangerous part of school bus rides is getting on and off, as children are valuable pedestrians, according to the Virginia Department of Health.gov.
All right, for drivers, stop for flashing, red lights, and extended stop arms. Okay. When a school bus has its red lights flashing and stop arm extended, drivers must come to a complete stop, a safe distance from the bus, and wait until the lights stop flashing and the arm is retracted before proceeding. Yellow flashing lights indicate caution. Drivers should slow down and prepare to stop when they see yellow flashing lights on a school bus, as this indicates the bus is preparing to stop.
Well, they got some for all these these car drivers who don't want to obey these laws and what the information that we're given. Because every year you got so many folks, drivers are breaking the basic traffic laws when they are driving around schools or behind school bus. They got some for them this year. If you notice around the city that there are school bus signals and signs and traps and lights that you got to, be ready for. You got to understand they want safe travel for these children, and they want you to be safe. And for students, wait safely. Don't get impatient. Students should wait at least 10 feet away from the curb and the bus. Never run or push near the bus stop, and only approach the bus when it comes to a complete stop and the door is open.
Absolutely. We want to say be alert as well, be extra alert. Drivers should be especially aware of children near bus stops and when backing out of driveways or leaving garages, especially in neighborhoods with no side wall, never pass on the right. When getting in and off the bus, students should use the handrail and be careful not to push or shove. Cross safely.
That's right.
Cross safely. If students need to cross the street, they should cross at least, like you said, 10 feet in front of the bus, making eye contact with the driver before stepping out, and never walk behind the bus, says the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles.
Stay visible. Stay visible. Students should make sure the bus driver can see them at all times, especially when they are outside the bus.
Absolutely. Behavior on the bus. Parents, listen. I know you think your little angel is sitting on that bus sometimes and, being nice, but a lot of times kids get in that environment on the bus and it is absolutely chaos. Students should sit quietly, keep aisles clear, and not put any part of their body outside the bus. Windows says, this is what King George County Schools have in place. You need to make sure kids are minding the rules, even on the bus. Secure loose items. Students should secure any loose items like drawstrings or backpack straps before boarding the bus.
Nearly 1 million students are safely transported in school buses daily across Virginia to school, field trips, athletics, and other school sponsored activities. Student riding a school bus varies a vehicle are most likely to arrive at school safely because of the school bus. Our most regular vehicles on the road are highly visible and have flashing red lights and stop sign on.
Okay, it says, why no seatbelts? That's a good question. How can a school bus be the safest transportation for students when it's not even equipped with seatbelts? According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, school buses have strong, closely spaced seats that have energy-absorbing seat backs to protect students from crashes, plus passengers experience much less crash force on a school bus compared to other vehicles.
That's wonderful. That's why they don't have school bus. That's why they don't have seat belts. Stop. It's the law. Drivers are required to follow certain laws when encountering a school bus. Virginia motorists must one stop for stop school bus when flashing red lights and an extended stop sign when approaching from any direction. You know, there's a law now that they got out there. If you are driving down the highway, as long as there's no medium strip, if there's a medium strip on one side, you can continue to drive.
Yes.
But when there is no medium strip with double lines there on both sides of the highway, you got to stop.
Absolutely.
You know, because that triggers a lot of other things out there. That's a lot of citizens nowadays that's going to think that they ain't got to pay attention to the stop sign. You know, they going to start putting fines on you. One sign placed on every school bus and every school in Hampton Road is the speed enforcement. Look for these signs. Communities in Hampton Road enforce these signs by installing speed cameras around the schools to catch those exceeding the speed limit. If you caught, if caught, you can face $7 a fine, get a fine $7 for every mile per hour you go above the speed limit, and a processing fee of $60. So if you're in a 25-mile zone, and they're gonna charge you $7 for that 25 or 26 or 27 miles, so that's 2 miles over the speed limit. So you multiply 7 times 27 plus $60 for the processing fee.
Absolutely. Look, make it safe. Motorists should watch for children gathering near bus stops and walking in groups to and from the bus stop. Drivers should be extra alert for children walking or bicycling to school. Bicycling. Watch out for those that, you know, so sometimes, kids don't know the rules and, drivers don't know the rules when it comes to bicycles. Of course, backing out the driveway again or leaving the garage. We talked about that. Most school bus incidents happen when students are traveling to the bus stop or getting on and off the bus. If students have to cross the street in front of a bus, they should walk on the sidewalk or along the side of the road to a point at least 5 giant steps. We mentioned that. And so when the bus approaches, students should line up at least 5 giant steps, 10 feet away from the curb and the street. When the bus comes to complete a stop and the doors open, students should check the traffic once before boarding.
You know, and pedestrians, drivers, you got to watch these school buses. These school buses have now been equipped with cameras on there so they can take your picture. But it isn't just the school sign you must watch. You must need to watch out for. You also need to keep an eye out for the school buses. Every year, driver attempt to drive around them once they stop. Listen, it's the law now. You got to stop.
Absolutely.
When you see a bus stop. Stop when you see a bus stop. That arm just isn't there to inconvenience you. The arm is made sure that students get on the bus safely and off the bus safely. A bus driver in Chesapeake said, "Watch, most people are signed up for school bus drivers in Hampton Road. If there's a problem across Hampton Road, you got to stamp it out." And then it goes a little further that says, passing a stopped school bus is classified as a form of reckless driving.
All right.
It's a form of reckless driving. When you caught doing it, that punishment will be hefty. You can get points on your license, up to $2,500 fine and jail time.
Ooh.
So if the school buses stop. If the school bus lights are on, stop. Don't be in a hurry to pass around the school bus. That's a fine. That's a $2,500 fine and jail time, and you can lose points.
Absolutely.
Give them 5 minutes. A child's life is worth 5 minutes or more. Give them 5 minutes to get on and off the bus and cross the street. Don't be in that much of a hurry, because the life you save may be one of those children's life or your cousin's life. But look, just pay close attention.
Do you see any problems when it comes to parents dropping off kids?
Well, there's a lot of problems when they drop off kids, because what parents does is as a designated spot for parents to drop off their kids.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot drop your kids off in the crosswalk. When children are crossing the street, they got to cross the street on the crosswalk side where the school patrol officers are. Some
Yes.
parents drop off their kids right there in the crosswalk.
Mm.
There are
Wow.
designated spots for you to drop your kid off. There are other kids that are crossing the street, and the school bus driver, the patrol officer, has to wait until you move off the crosswalk so that the child can cross the street. So go into the designated area that is prepared for your child. Don't put your child off on the crosswalk or the median strip in the middle of the street because you don't want to make a U-turn or go, get out
Mhm.
of your zone. Go and put your children off at the proper spot, because if you don't, there's problems.
Absolutely. We want to say good morning to Miss Sheila Robbins, Tracy Porter. Good morning. Over on Instagram, we have KAIM.093. We have Aura IF, I believe LQNOVIANSYAH. Forgive my eyes. I hope I'm not pronouncing it, but spelling it right. Then we have Saginaws. I'm going to spell it SAGINAWSLYM. Join us on Instagram. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, Mr. E, it is time. Some kids are already in school. There are kids that will be going in September. Everybody needs to stay aware of these rules, regulations, these fines, safety, because there are some instances that happen as a result of people not being patient enough to wait on buses for schools that have not done their due diligence when it comes to the alarms, their security. There are parents that don't think that their children are on the bus cutting up and don't insist that they obey rules on the bus. We've got to do our part, and these rules are in place to keep everybody safe.
And never be too much of in a hurry when it comes to dropping your kids off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running late for work. I got to get to work. Go there enough time. Get up enough time so that you can drop your child off. They got people standing there on the outside with your
Yes.
children. Just get there enough time. Drop your child off. Well, if they're in pre-K, you gotta wait. Just let your employer know that you're not going to be there on time because you got to drop your child off, and or have somebody else take your child to school.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is you're going to disobey the rule. You're not going to obey the rules and the regulations of the school, and you're not going to be able to pay close attention to of the surroundings, because all you concerned about is dropping that child off, pushing that child off, and you speeding down the highway to work. Listen, in the school zones, the speed limit is 15 miles an hour.
Yes.
They got signs up there. They got cameras up there. Once you go home and you get a letter in the mail with your car picture on it, you got to pay that
Yes.
fine. And then when you got, they stressing this in the schools, that when you see a medium strip, you don't have to stop. But if there is no medium strip in the highway, it can be a 4-lane highway traffic lane. When you see 4 lanes and there's no medium strip and the bus stop on one side, you got to stop. Please stop, or else you're gonna get a $2,500 fine, spend some jail time, spend some time in jail, and lose points on your license.
I wanted to talk again about those that walk to school. It is so important that you are, not a loner. You need to have someone with you, and you need to. Parents need to teach their children to pay attention to cars that are following slow behind them, or cars that you see consistently that are, driving past, the kids. I talk to kids in my mentoring program, Mr. E, and they tell me of people that actually try to get them to come into the cars as they walk to school. You got people that are lurking around and saying, "Come on, get in. I'll take you where you want to go." Or you may have somebody that say, "Well, your parents told me to pick you up. Come on with me." Even in groups, I know my young ladies in the program said, even in groups, you have people that are lurking and trying to get them to come in the car. They say they actually have to run. They have to run because these folk are persistent. They had a problem in Atlanta, Georgia one time, and it was so problematic. They were picking up, it was a man that was picking up young people and killing them, well, unaliving them. That's the political correct term. And, as they walk to school, you got to understand safety. You got to understand that everybody doesn't have good intentions. And you have to understand that there are people that just set out, on a daily basis to do harm to children.
Well, seniors, you can come out the house now. You can come on your front porch. You can help protect the community. You can you want to do something for the community. Well, here's your golden opportunity where you don't have to sit in the house. You can come out on your front porch. You can walk down the street and help these children as they go to school. You can be their eyes. You can help protect them from people that are picking up children, people that don't mean them no good. You can help watch over these babies as they go to school. Remember, seniors, you can do this. You said I don't have nothing but to do. I get up in the morning. Well, now here's your exercise. Get your little stick, get your little broom or mop handle or whatever you use, and walk up and down the street as the children go back and forth to school. Also, parents, when your children are catching the school bus, there are ways that you can track. They got Zoom out there now on all these buses where you can see your children get on and off the bus. They got Zoom. Those who don't have Zoom, make sure you check with your school and your counselors and make sure you get that Zoom account so that you can see when Johnny get on the bus and when Johnny get off the bus. Also, the HRT in Virginia is giving free rides to all the children going to and for school. They got special cards out there. If your child got to ride the city transit, make sure you go down to HRT and get that bus pass that child can, go back and forth to school.
Parents should get out the bed if they're young. You have young kids. Make sure you're at the bus stop with them. Make sure you're at the bus stop when they get off. You can't just make them independent and they're very young. Make sure that you're responsible. Make sure they are able to follow directions before you just let them go out the door and get on the bus stop or go to the bus stop, or make them make them really responsible of the rules and regulations in school and bus safety.
And if you got latchkey kids, make sure you got designated neighbors that can watch your children go and in and out of your house. Make sure you got a neighbor around your house. Trust your neighborhood. Trust your friends. Get to know your neighbors. And maybe somebody across the street that's home all day long. It may be somebody to the right or the left of your home. where you can, even though you got cameras on your house, make sure that you got neighbors watching. The cameras can see them come into the house, but the cameras cannot see them who's following behind them, who's lurking on the opposite side of the street. Make sure you have great eyes on your children.
Mr. E, some of these parents feel like they getting ready to go on vacation.
Well,
Look, kids have been on vacation. They're going back to school, and parents are sitting there saying, Amen. But you can do that, but you can also teach them how to be safe, and you can be safe, and you can make sure you have a wonderful, wonderful school year for your children. Look, be blessed. You all have a wonderful weekend, and get back here on Monday for Monday Sports Talk. Have a wonderful day.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everette, the co-host. If you'd like to be a special guest, sponsor, or intern, all you got to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can email us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 on WPCE 1400 WGPL 1350 Peace 95.3 FM WMVA and on all social media platforms. Have a wonderful day now. Bye.
All right. The weekend is here. It is definitely hot and humid here in the Hampton Roads area, but it's a lot going on. Missy, you want to share what y'all doing this evening at 4 o'clock?
They're gonna have a back to school out there at the
that CBC radio station.
They're gonna
is
have
having
after school back to school program at the Northside Park this afternoon from 4 to 7.
Okay, very good. What's going to be going on?
They're gonna have hot dogs, hamburgers, trophies given away to the summer camp people, and the face painting, you name it, it's gonna be out there.
There's a lot going on. Kids are gearing up. I wonder if they want to go back to school. Some of them are anxious to go back to school and be with their friends and things like that. And so, hey, this is a good time for them. I hope parents are looking forward to their vacation. Nevertheless, look, we got some upcoming shows. FYI After Dark. Don't forget, we're going to get back live with Hot Topics, Yolanda Hinton, Around the Town with Everette, community news and events, relationships. Also in September, Jason L. Baker has said that he will be ready for the cryptocurrency, money and more segment. And of course, on our morning show, FYI Monday Sports Talk. Wednesday, What's Under the Hat, Men's Issues. And look, if you all have any kind of suggestions for that segment, please inbox us. We want to know some of the things that you all would like to talk about or would like for us to talk about when it comes to men and men issues. The same thing with our ladies. We have our Fun Friday segment, What's Under the Not What's Under the Hat, What's in the Closet, issues concerning women. You got any tips for us? You want us to cover any interesting segment for women, please inbox us. Let us know what you think, how you feel. Also, serving that tea. We'll be doing some of that after dark and our morning show. And speaking of serving that tea, we've got a whole lot going on in politics. I mean, it is on. Y'all, if you can, follow some of that stuff to be informed. There's supposed to be a meeting this today, I believe. And we shall see how that turns out with y'all's president and that man called Putin. But it's a lot of drama. It's a lot of drama. In the music world, there's a lot of things going on. In the sports world, a lot of stuff going on. Some folks are talking about Serena Williams and how she's beat now. That body is I don't know why, Miss Edith, they think that girl can't get down to where she is because she's an athlete. She can take and form that body any way she wants to.
That's
but
right.
People are having a problem with it for some reason. I guess because she's very small, but she has been very muscular because she's been playing tennis. But there are a lot of things people got their nose in, a lot of stuff going on But nevertheless, life goes on, and I hope you all will continue to enjoy your life, yourself. Um, don't forget to follow us on social media, and don't forget to be a special guest. You could have to reach out to us if you want to be an intern or sponsor. Miss Lee has that information.
If you'd like to be a special guest, intern, or sponsor, all you have to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can email us at FYIRadioShowLive@gmail.com. Again, that's FYIRadioShowLive@gmail.com.
Look, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and don't forget to enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back here for Monday Sports Talk. Bye.
Two up, two down, BA.